before rockets soared, before electric cars roamed the highways, before his name became synonymous with genius and controversy. There was a quiet, awkward little boy in Pretoria, South Africa, a boy with galaxies in his mind. Born on June 28, 1971, Elon Musk entered the world in a city as warm as it was distant from the innovation hubs he would one day transform. His mother, May Musk, was a striking mix of beauty and brains, a Canadian-born dietitian and fashion model. With poise, persistence, and intellect, she was a fierce force who balanced public presence with maternal duty. His father, Elon Musk, was a South African electromechanical engineer, hands-on, inventive, and deeply involved in Elon's early life. But their relationship, like much of Elon's early emotional world, would later be described as difficult, even traumatic. Growing up, Elon wasn't the typical South African kid. He wasn't interested in sports or small talk. He was withdrawn, introspective, a child lost in the universe of books, machines, and imaginary worlds. By the age of 10, Elon discovered computers, not as tools, but as portals. While most kids were just figuring out multiplication tables, Elon was teaching himself to code on a Commodore VIC-20, a machine that most adults found too complex to use. At age 12, Elon designed and coded his first video game, Blaster, a simple space shooter that he sold to a magazine for $500. It was rudimentary, sure, but it proved something. Elon wasn't just dreaming about technology. When he wasn't writing code, Elon was buried in books. He devoured science fiction, encyclopedias, biographies. He once said he read for 10 hours a day, anything he could get his hands on. The world around him couldn't keep up with the world inside him, and that came at a cost. In school, Elon was relentlessly bullied, not just for being smart, but for being different. Small, pale, bookish, and socially awkward, he was an easy target. Once, a group of boys even threw him down a flight of stairs, leaving him hospitalized. But even through the hurt, he never retaliated with fists. He retreated inward, into thoughts, theories, code. The pain didn't destroy him, it steeled him. These books weren't just stories, they were templates, possibilities, escape hatches from a world that felt too small. And while his childhood was riddled with loneliness and chaos, Elon found clarity in a vision, a belief that technology could fix everything, that humans could go farther, live better, survive longer. Even then, as a child, Elon knew one thing: Earth wasn't our final home. He didn't want to stay. He wanted to reach for the stars.
In the heart of apartheid-era South Africa, a teenage Elon Musk was quietly plotting his escape. Not from enemies, but from stagnation. From limitation. From a life he felt was far too small for the size of his dreams. Elon was just 17 when he made one of the boldest decisions of his life. He left his homeland behind. South Africa was a country marked by turmoil, and like many young men his age, Elon faced compulsory military service. But he wasn't interested in enforcing a regime. His war was with ignorance, with impossibility, with the status quo. So, with little more than ambition and a Canadian passport, thanks to his mother May Musk's heritage, he boarded a flight that would change everything. Canada was his gateway to the West, a land of opportunity and innovation. At just 17 years old, Elon arrived in North America, not knowing exactly where he was going, only that he was going forward. He enrolled at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. And while most college freshmen were focused on lectures and parties, Elon was devouring physics textbooks and plotting his future ventures with the intensity of a man twice his age. But Queen's wasn't just about academics. It's where Elon began to evolve socially, developing the quiet confidence that would eventually shape boardrooms and press stages. It was here he also met Justine Wilson, his future wife, and began forming deeper ideas about the world, technology, and where he fit in. He was restless. Always reading. Always imagining. Obsessed with science fiction, particularly the kind that dared to ask what if? What if humans became a multiplanetary species? What if artificial intelligence could be harnessed for good? What if clean energy could actually work at scale? These weren't just daydreams. They were blueprints. After 2 years at Queen's, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States, where his academic journey took a sharper, more ambitious turn. At Penn, he pursued 2 degrees simultaneously, physics and economics, a combination that reflected his twin passions, understanding how the universe works and how the world turns. Physics gave him the lens to view everything as a system, calculable, solvable, improvable. Economics, meanwhile, offered insight into how innovation moves markets and how markets move people. By now, Elon wasn't just thinking about changing one industry, he wanted to revolutionize many. He believed the key to a better future lay in 3 things. 1. The Internet. 2. Renewable energy. 3. Space exploration. And he wasn't wrong. Even as a broke student, Elon poured his energy into projects that seemed, well, insane to most. He lived off $1 a day at one point, surviving on hot dogs and oranges just so he could save enough for better computers and data access. He read manuals on rocket propulsion for fun. He studied energy grids and software infrastructure in his free time. He wasn't partying, he was prototyping. He would later say, "I always had an existential crisis, trying to figure out what does it all mean? Why are we here? What's the point?" For Elon, purpose wasn't something you discovered, it was something you built. He saw the growing power of the internet and dreamed of harnessing it. He imagined humanity escaping Earth not out of fear, but out of ambition. And he dared to believe that the technologies of the future, electric cars, reusability in space, brain-machine interfaces, weren't far-off dreams, but achievable goals in his lifetime. He just needed time, resources, and a shot. That shot would come after graduation. But right here, in the lecture halls of Penn, in the lonely dorm nights, in the relentless curiosity that kept him from sleeping, that's where Elon Musk was truly born. Not as a tech billionaire. Not as the CEO of Tesla, or the man behind Mars. But as a restless mind who refused to accept reality as it was handed to him. He was already thinking 10 steps ahead. He wasn't finished. He was just getting started. And the world had no idea what was coming. Fascinated by Elon's early journey? Hit like, drop a comment with your favorite Musk moments so far, and subscribe for the next chapter, where the real hustle begins.
Before Elon Musk became a household name, before electric cars and rockets to Mars, there was Zip2, a modest idea, a digital city guide, the spark that ignited one of the most explosive tech journeys of the modern age. In 1995, Elon Musk was just another ambitious Stanford dropout. He'd left the university after just 2 days. Why? Because the internet, new and largely misunderstood, was moving faster than academia could keep up. And Musk didn't want to study revolutions, he wanted to build them. Together with his brother Kimball Musk, Elon launched Zip2, an online business directory combined with maps and navigation. Think of it as a kind of primitive Google Maps meets Yelp, long before those names ever existed. Armed with a second-hand computer, a tiny rented office, and a vision that most people didn't get, Elon began coding day and night. He literally slept under his desk and showered at the local YMCA. It wasn't glamorous, but it was the grind. At the time, Silicon Valley was buzzing with dot-com fever. Venture capitalists were looking for the next big thing, but most still didn't believe the internet would change business. Musk's approach was different. He wasn't trying to ride the wave. He was building the tide. Eventually, Zip2 caught the attention of more Davidow Ventures. They invested $3 million into Elon's fledgling company. But it came with a cost. Elon was removed as CEO. They brought in more experienced executives to run the show. Elon disagreed, but he stayed. He worked hard. And when Zip2 was finally acquired by Compaq for $307 million in 1999, Elon walked away with $22 million. Just 27 years old, and already a millionaire. But Elon wasn't chasing money, he was chasing disruption, and banking was next. Later that same year, he used $12 million of his earnings to found X.com, an online financial services company with one radical idea: money should move as fast as email. X.com offered checking accounts, investments, insurance, and a feature that would change everything: peer-to-peer email payments. People could now send money across the globe with just a few clicks. It was revolutionary, but again, Elon's bold vision created tension. Mergers, management shakeups, and a battle of egos eventually led to X.com merging with a competitor, Confinity, a company that had developed a payment platform called PayPal. As X.com and Confinity combined forces, the PayPal brand gained traction, but internally, things were volatile. Elon, who had become CEO of the merged company, clashed with the board. While on a trip to Australia in 2000, Elon was ousted as CEO, again. This time he was blindsided, but he didn't fight it. Instead, he held on to his shares and let the product speak for itself. And it did. PayPal exploded. It became the default payment method for eBay users, and its user base grew at lightning speed. By 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock. Elon's cut? $180 million. And just like that, the man who once slept on a futon beside his server became one of the wealthiest young tech visionaries in America. 3 companies, 3 exits, each one bigger than the last, but none of them were the end goal. Because for Elon, wealth wasn't the destination, it was fuel. With $180 million in his account, Elon Musk didn't buy an island, he didn't retire. He poured nearly every cent into 3 new ventures: Tesla, SpaceX, and Solar City. That's not just risk, that's obsession, that's vision, that's Elon. Musk had disrupted information, money, and software. But his next target would be bigger and riskier: transportation, energy, and the stars above.
They said it couldn't be done. That electric cars were slow, ugly, and worst of all, impractical. But Elon Musk doesn't believe in impossible. In 2003, a small startup called Tesla Motors was founded, not by Elon Musk initially, but by engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. They had one mission: to prove that electric vehicles could be better, faster, and more fun than gasoline-powered cars. Elon joined shortly after as the company's biggest investor, pouring in $6.5 million during the company's first major funding round. But his influence? Immediate. His vision? Far beyond anything traditional automakers dared to dream. Together, they created the Tesla Roadster, a sleek, electric sports car built on a Lotus chassis. It wasn't just revolutionary, it was fast. 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. And it had a range of over 200 miles, a number unheard of in electric vehicles at the time. This wasn't a golf cart for the eco-conscious. This was a car that made a statement. The future is electric and it's fast. But Tesla's rise would not be smooth. By 2008, as the world plunged into financial crisis, Tesla was bleeding money. Production issues, delays, and rising costs pushed the company to the edge of collapse. Elon was already stretched thin, having just launched SpaceX. But now, Tesla was on life support. He faced a brutal choice: let it die, or risk everything. He chose to bet it all. He personally invested his last $40 million, even borrowing money from friends to cover payroll. It was Christmas Eve, 2008, when a final round of funding saved Tesla, just hours before bankruptcy would have become reality. In 2012, Tesla did the unthinkable. They released the Model S, the first fully electric luxury sedan, built from the ground up. No engine, no emissions, no compromises. It wasn't just good, it was spectacular. It won Motor Trend's Car of the Year, a rare feat for a newcomer. Critics praised its safety, performance, and technology. It had ludicrous mode, autopilot capability, and over-the-air software updates, features the rest of the industry had never dared imagine. Suddenly, legacy carmakers, once smug in their dominance, were caught off guard. Tesla wasn't just an electric car company anymore. It was a tech company that built cars. But Elon knew that one car couldn't spark a revolution. So, he laid out his secret master plan. On a remote island in the Pacific, in the year 2006, a small group of engineers, sleep-deprived and fueled by obsession, stood beside a rocket they had poured their souls into. The Falcon 1, a symbol of hope and an embodiment of Elon Musk's audacious dream to make humans a multiplanetary species. When Elon Musk founded SpaceX in 2002, many dismissed it as a billionaire's fantasy. He wasn't a rocket scientist. He wasn't a veteran of NASA. He was, at best, a curious outsider. But that outsider had read every rocket book he could find. And more importantly, he was unafraid to fail. And fail he did. In 2006, Falcon 1's first flight ended in disaster. The rocket barely made it off the ground before crashing into the turquoise Sea of Kwajalein Atoll. The press had a field day. Amateurs in space.com guy burns millions. But Musk didn't quit. Over the next 2 years, Falcon 1 failed again and again. 3 failures in a row. Most companies fold at one. NASA veterans openly doubted them. Investors walked away. Even Musk admits they were almost out of money. One more shot. One last launch. September 28, 2008. The world held its breath. Falcon 1 rose into the sky, and this time it soared. Into orbit. Against all odds. SpaceX became the first private company in history to send a liquid-fueled rocket into Earth's orbit. In that moment, SpaceX wasn't just real, it was revolutionary. That successful launch caught NASA's attention. In 2008, the agency awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to resupply the International Space Station. Now, the stakes were higher. No longer just a dreamer, Elon Musk was now a key player in the future of space exploration. SpaceX introduced the Falcon 9, a larger, more powerful rocket, capable of ferrying both cargo and, eventually, humans. It carried the Dragon capsule, designed to dock with the ISS. The next evolution was underway. But Elon wasn't just interested in reaching space. He wanted to return from it. Reusability became the mantra. SpaceX began attempting vertical landings of their first stage rockets. Each failure a fiery lesson. Each explosion an opportunity to improve. Then, in December 2015, the impossible happened. A Falcon 9 booster returned from space and landed upright. History was made. The cost of spaceflight would never be the same again. But the pinnacle came in May 2020. For the first time since the space shuttle retired, American astronauts launched from U.S. soil aboard a SpaceX rocket. The Crew Dragon, powered by Falcon 9, carried Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley into orbit. They were heading to the ISS in a ship built by Elon Musk's company. The mission was a complete success. And with it, SpaceX became the first private company in history to send humans into space. But all of this was just phase 1. Elon Musk never made it a secret SpaceX was built not just to orbit Earth, but to leave it. His mission? Mars. To achieve that, SpaceX began developing Starship, the most powerful rocket ever conceived. Fully reusable. Massive in scale. Capable of carrying 100 passengers. Starship isn't just a rocket, it's a colony ship. Its testing phase was turbulent. Rockets exploded. Tanks crumpled. The prototypes were nicknamed flying grain silos. Critics laughed. But each flight, even the failures, brought them closer. Then came Starship SN-15. It launched, flipped, landed. Smoothly. For the first time, the dream of an interplanetary rocket looked like reality. Musk unveiled his plan, a self-sustaining city on Mars. Solar-powered. Pressurized habitats. Greenhouses. A fleet of starships ferrying cargo and humans across the solar system. He wasn't joking. To Musk, Mars isn't about escape. It's about survival. Insurance for humanity. A second chance in case Earth falters. A bold leap so that our species doesn't go extinct on the only rock we've ever known. SpaceX is now launching Starlink satellites, creating a global internet grid funding Mars missions with every launch. Each rocket, each mission, each second of innovation is aimed at that red dot in the sky. People once laughed at the idea of reusable rockets. They mocked the boy who wanted to go to Mars. But today, the countdown has already begun. Not for one man's journey, but for humanity's greatest adventure. This is not science fiction anymore. This is SpaceX. And this is only the beginning. Electric cars. Rockets to Mars. But what if I told you that Elon Musk's ambitions don't stop at roads and space? Behind the headlines, there's a man with a vision to change not just how we live, but how we exist. Let's dive into the other side of Musk's empire, his lesser-known, but equally groundbreaking ventures that could shape our tomorrow. In 2016, Musk co-founded Neuralink, a neurotechnology company with a mission straight out of science fiction, to create a direct interface between the human brain and computers. Neuralink's goal is bold, if not terrifying to some. It aims to help people with neurological disorders, restore mobility, and one day, merge human intelligence with artificial intelligence. In 2020, the company demonstrated a pig named Gertrude with a brain chip that transmitted neural signals in real time. Then came the macaque monkey, playing Pong using only its thoughts. While critics question the ethical implications and safety of such procedures, Musk believes it's humanity's best shot at surviving the rise of superintelligent AI. Pushpin, if you can't beat AI, join it. Elon Musk. Next up, the Boring Company. Musk launched it in 2016 after being stuck in LA traffic. His idea? Beat traffic by going under it. The company developed underground tunnels for high-speed travel, starting with a test tunnel in Hawthorne, California. In 2021, the Las Vegas Convention Center Loop became its first real-world system. The idea is to eventually create a vast network where electric cars, or even autonomous pods, can zoom beneath cities, bypassing congestion entirely. Supporters call it revolutionary. Critics call it overhyped. But like most Musk ventures, the Boring Company is less about what is and more about what could be. Before Tesla became a car company, it was always an energy company at heart. That vision came into sharper focus when Musk helped found SolarCity in 2006, run by his cousins. SolarCity aimed to make solar energy accessible and affordable for everyday households, reducing dependence on fossil fuels one rooftop at a time. In 2016, Tesla acquired SolarCity for $2.6 billion and integrated its tech into products like the Powerwall, a sleek home battery for energy storage, and the futuristic solar roof. While some investors called the acquisition a financial burden, Musk stood firm. Renewable energy wasn't optional, it was essential. Round Pushpin, we must transition to a sustainable energy economy, or eventually, we will run out of fossil fuels. Elon Musk. In 2015, long before ChatGPT became a household name, Elon Musk helped co-found OpenAI, a non-profit research lab dedicated to ensuring artificial intelligence benefits all of humanity. Musk, ever the techno-optimist with a healthy dose of paranoia, believed that without caution, AI could become one of humanity's greatest existential threats. Though he stepped away from OpenAI's board in 2018, citing conflicts of interest with Tesla's own AI, his impact on shaping ethical conversations around AI still resonates. Round Pushpin, the pace of progress in AI is incredibly fast. Unless you have direct exposure to groups like OpenAI, you have no idea how fast it is growing at a pace close to exponential. Perhaps the most talked about and controversial of Musk's recent moves came in 2022, when he bought Twitter for a staggering $44 billion. His stated mission? To restore freedom of speech on the platform. His actions? Drastic staff cuts, policy reversals, and a complete rebranding from Twitter to X. Some hailed it as a step toward open dialogue. Others saw it as chaotic and reckless. Advertising revenue plummeted. Usage metrics shifted. And yet, Musk stayed the course. To him, X was more than a social media site. It was the foundation of his dream to create an everything app. A digital town square, financial hub, content platform, and more. Roundpushpin Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. From brain chips and boring tunnels to solar power and AI, Elon Musk isn't just building companies, he's building the future he believes we'll need to survive. Whether his vision excites you or terrifies you, one thing's certain, Elon Musk is asking the big questions and forcing the world to answer. If this chapter opened your mind, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to share this video with someone curious about the future. Bell sparkles. Behind the rockets and electric cars, beyond the tweets and the tech, lies a complex figure whose personal life has been as unconventional and headline-grabbing as his professional career. Elon Musk, the billionaire who dreams of Mars, is also the father of at least 11 children and has been married and remarried to the same woman. His personal choices, relationships, and behavior online have earned him as much media attention as his world-changing inventions. Let's take a closer look at the man outside the boardroom, his loves, his legacy, and the controversies that continue to surround his very human side. Elon's first marriage was to Canadian author Justine Musk, née Wilson. They met while studying at Queen's University in Ontario and reconnected years later. The couple married in 2000 and had 6 children together, although their first son, Nevada, tragically died of sudden infant death syndrome at just 10 weeks old. It was a loss that deeply marked Elon and Justine. They would go on to have 5 more children through IVF, a set of twins, followed by triplets. Despite their shared journey into parenthood, the relationship deteriorated over time. In 2008, they divorced, a split that Justine described in later interviews as emotionally distant, with Elon approaching marriage with the same analytical intensity he brought to engineering. But Musk didn't stay single for long. In 2010, he married Tallulah Riley, a British actress best known for roles in Pride and Prejudice and Westworld. Their union, however, became tabloid fodder due to its on-again, off-again nature. Elon filed for divorce in 2012. Then they remarried in 2013, only for Riley to file for divorce again in 2014, then withdraw it, before ultimately finalizing the split in 2016. It was a romance marked by intensity and volatility, reflective, perhaps, of Musk's own restless and demanding nature. In 2018, the world was stunned to learn that Elon Musk was dating Canadian singer and performance artist Grimes, born Claire Boucher, a pairing that seemed both strange and strangely perfect. Their first public appearance together was at the Met Gala, sparking immediate media frenzy. They shared a love of sci-fi, surrealism, and Twitter banter. In May 2020, the couple welcomed a son whose name lit up the internet, XAEA-12 Musk. Pronounced something like XAE-12, the name defied California naming laws and needed slight alteration to XAEA-12 on his birth certificate. In 2021, Musk and Grimes announced they were semi-separated, yet still deeply connected. A year later, it was revealed that they had secretly welcomed a second child via surrogate, a daughter named Dark Sidereal Musk, or simply Y. Their relationship continued to blur the lines between intimacy and independence. Grimes once called Elon her best friend, and despite their ups and downs, they remain co-parents to their 2 uniquely named children. Beyond the spotlight of celebrity romances, Elon Musk has quietly built a large and growing family. In July 2022, court documents revealed that he had fathered twins in late 2021 with Shervan Zilis, an executive at Neuralink, one of Musk's own companies. The births had previously gone unreported, adding 2 more children to an already expanding household. That brings Elon Musk's known number of children to at least 11, a fact he has not only acknowledged but defended publicly. In fact, Musk has taken a vocal stance on population decline, tweeting that civilization is going to crumble if birth rates don't increase. For him, having many children is not just personal, it's philosophical. But what kind of father is Elon Musk? Accounts vary. Some paint him as distant, a man consumed by work and innovation. Others describe a playful and involved dad, particularly with his younger children. In interviews, Musk has admitted that he wasn't very present during the early years of his older children's lives due to the intense demands of building his companies. Yet he's also said he tries to spend time with his kids when he can, even bringing them to meetings or rocket launches. In a 2022 interview, Musk said, "If I have a trip for Tesla to China, I'll bring the kids with me, and we'll go see the Great Wall." Still, parenting, like many things in Musk's life, is done on his terms. For all his genius, Elon Musk is also a lightning rod for controversy. Behind the Tesla gloss and SpaceX spectacles is a man who's often sparked outrage with a single tweet or reshaped headlines before breakfast. Let's start where much of Elon's controversy brews: social media. Musk's presence on X, formerly Twitter, is, to put it mildly, unpredictable. He's not just a CEO online. He's a provocateur, a meme master, and occasionally, his own worst enemy. In 2018, one tweet would send shockwaves through Wall Street, AM considering taking Tesla private at $420. Funding secured. The result? A stock market frenzy, a massive SEC lawsuit, and a $40 million settlement split between Musk and Tesla. Though he remained CEO, he was forced to step down as chairman and have his tweets reviewed by lawyers. That wasn't the last time Twitter made headlines for him. From calling a British cave rescuer a pedo guy to openly mocking gender pronouns, Musk often toes a fine line between edgy humor and public outrage. Yet, his tweets do more than spark outrage. They move markets. In early 2021, a single Dogecoin meme from Elon could send the coin soaring. He joked. He pumped. He pulled back. And millions followed. But to critics, that's not clever, it's reckless influence. Especially when small investors are left holding the bag. The man is as divisive as he is admired. Genius or madman? Visionary or disruptor? To some, he's a technological messiah. To others, a reckless provocateur playing with forces beyond control. But regardless of where you stand, there's no denying this: Elon Musk has already changed the world. And, perhaps even more unsettling, he's just getting started. This is a man who launched a car into space, not for science, but for symbolism. A man who bought a social media platform, renamed it X, and called it the Everything app as if Twitter was just a warm-up. A man who believes that a civilization on Mars is not only possible, but necessary. In an age where most play it safe, Musk plays it big. He breaks rules. He questions everything. He thrives on the edge of collapse, making his greatest moves in the darkest hours. And somehow, he always seems to come out ahead. His methods? Unconventional. His attitude? Unfiltered. His timeline? Ridiculously fast. His vision? Borderline sci-fi. But maybe that's what makes him different. While others see problems, Musk sees puzzles. While others fear the future, he's building it with his own hands. The Tesla Gigafactories. The Falcon rockets. The Neuralink brain chips. The Starlink satellite web. The Hyperloop tubes beneath our cities. It's not just about tech. It's about changing how we live, how we move, how we connect, and maybe how we think. And yet, he's human. Flawed. Emotional. Unpredictable. His tweets spark global debate. His interviews spawn memes and market shifts. One sentence from Elon can boost a stock or crash it. But perhaps that volatility is part of the magnetism. He doesn't read from a script. He doesn't care what's expected. He says what he believes. And in a world of carefully curated personas, that rawness is rare. Critics say he overpromises. Supporters say he overdelivers. The truth? Somewhere in between, but always moving forward. Musk isn't here to please. He's here to push. To test boundaries. To drag humanity toward possibilities we hadn't dared imagine. Whether that's a Mars colony, a mind-machine interface, or an AI that writes its own future, he's chasing it. Obsessively. Relentlessly. Fearlessly. And maybe that's what defines him. Not the money, not the fame, not even the tweets, but the fire, the obsession, the unrelenting belief that we can be more. As we look ahead to a future powered by solar roofs, self-driving cars, reusable rockets, and artificial intelligence, we may realize that much of it began with one man asking questions no one else dared to. So ask yourself, if Elon Musk is changing the future, what are you doing with yours?